In this video, I'm going to go through the process of how I came up with all 31 drawings, drawing a day in a completely different style. Hopefully you remember this one. So go back and watch the video I did of week 1. I'll just rattle through week 1 because you've seen those already. Still one of my favorites. You see who it is? Here we go. So we started off with day 9. It's a picture of Aquarius. And yeah, it's just done from a reference photo I found doing a Google search for Aquarius. You can see why some people don't talk about process, because as soon as I show the image next to this, it's kind of like, oh, you just copied it. It's true, I did. And then we got day 10. So I started off by looking at Matisse's old drawings and some of Picasso's old drawings. And then I looked at an artist called Blanda, Blah Blah Blanda on Instagram. She does these wonderful lines, and then they're not too wobbly, they're kind of like flexible limbs. And if you see here the picture at the top, you can see this kind of curved neck, and it's the same curved neck that I've done here. Day 11, this was just a completely unplanned doodle, but I'm very aware of the context and form of the whole overall thing and where I'm going to draw. And I actually did a video of a time lapse of this one, so you can go back and watch that on my channel. But Peter Draws does some great stuff. They're quite intricate, but I like that they're so free. I wanted it to be more pattern, but I think the image is quite nice. Anyway. And that brings us to day 12. So I've done another video of this one as well. So they're the only two that I did of the whole of Inktober. And then I got really tired. So many videos on YouTube just show the development of a final time-lapse painting, or they don't show how their ideas developed, and that's the stuff I find most interesting. So I do know why artists don't show it, because it does take away a lot of the mystique, which you'll see later on in some of my favorite pictures here. When I show the reference photos, you'll think I'm a complete con artist, but we'll see, because I am. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to be a con artist. It's pretty nuts, but yeah, I'm chuffed with it. So this one is much more simple. Again, you might not be able to see it very clearly on camera. All of these are up at samhamper.com, so go and have a look, or follow on Instagram at samhamper. And there's a few illustrators who I follow, and one of them is a young art student in Leeds called Kate, or Cart. I think it's an Irish name. And she does these really delicate, nice, light illustrations. And after a couple of days of intense stuff, that's really what I wanted to do. And this one, Hockney, in case you can't tell, straight away, the bigger splash. And this is where I start missing colour already. We're only on day 14 and I'm really struggling. I like colour. You can tell by this scene. I'm in the studio behind me. There's a lot of colour. This nice table. Everything's colourful. And yeah, this is probably one of my favourites. Nice and quick, really loose. Just like someone's jumped into the pool or something, or thrown something, or who knows. So yeah. This is a super quick one from a life model, OX4 life drawing in Cowley. I put in some extra scenes, like a chair and a table and a lamp and a clock. And looking at Christiane Spangberg, again, I don't know if I'm getting all these names right, who does these crazy swirly faces. And I love these quick gestural curves. So it's funny, I think this is kind of what I revert to. So yeah, none of that. And then this is day 16. Ended up working on it a lot more than I thought I would. It's done from a reference image I did from just drawing these twigs going into these trees. And I wanted to kind of build it out into pattern so that you couldn't tell that it was just the trees. Here we are. So, this one. I'm really happy with this one. What I've done is I've managed to take two artists and basically merge them together and claim it as my own. No. So one of them is Ryan Hewitt, who does these crazy, wonderful pictures, abstract, swirly, messy faces. And I saw a beautiful drawing that he did with this black eye, and I thought it was fantastic. And then the other one, Stefan Ganesh, I think I've got that name wrong again. An image that I'm going to pop on screen, and it's going to look almost identical to the outline here. Bang. So I copied the shirt exactly, and then I tried to make the outline for this one my face, And then I brought in Ryan Hewitt's kind of style to kind of open the face up. It happens to be a perfect rip off both of them. However, I think that's fine, and I'll defend it to the hilt, because if either of them have a problem with it, you can just point out that Ryan Hewitt is basically just doing slightly more abstract Francis Bacon paintings. Stefan is pretty much just doing what Dada did in the 1920s. Everyone copies, including them. So this is actually probably my favourite picture that I did for the whole of Inktober. I did say day 7. Oh well, it's actually day 17. And then another face, and this one I did 4 minutes before midnight. And it's a blind drawing, so eyes closed. We were just messing around. This one popped out. I went off the page a bit. I like it more and more and more. So a murmuration is a flock of starlings. Just at the start of this time of year until about January, they will start migrating away. There's a lot of dots, and I underestimated just how many dots. So I just did dots. And it probably took me about 3 hours of dotting. But yeah, it was good fun. And then I added this bit at the bottom. I thought I'd almost ruined it by adding this, but actually I think it just brings it down and it gives it a bit more context. Otherwise it is just pattern, really. And now I think it's more clear that it's birds. And here's day 20. I'm really happy with this one. I get it, it's kind of creepy. It's not the kind of thing many people want to hang on their wall. But yeah, I'm really happy with it. You know, what's the figure thinking? This whole thing about self-image, examining figure. Anyway. And this is basically a complete rip-off. An artist called Anna Maria Schneider. And she basically did this big ink drip thing going into these cups. And I just thought I'd have a bit of fun with it. She also does these really nice, simple paintings. Oh, getting cramp. Now I start to really get tired and struggle to have any idea of what to do. Oddly, now that I've finished, I can think of hundreds of ideas again. There's so many styles I didn't explore. Sometimes you just couldn't think of anything. And so that happened on day 22, and I did a doodle. So this is the kind of unplanned, not thinking about structure. There's actually white paint pen here covering this up, and then drawn over that again, scribbling away, not trying to think about anything, where you just keep going until you run out of paper. And I work right by Port Meadow. I go walk around there on my lunch break. These are all the trees that have been chopped down just around the edge of the allotment, and I thought it'd be nice to just do something a little bit more technical after being loose for a while. Slightly awkward picture that I quite like. It doesn't quite work. It's not pleasant, and you can't quite work out why. I like that kind of tension that it's got. Right, day 24. Again, Port Meadow. My bike, tree. Not gonna lie, can't think who I was thinking of when I did this. I think it was just a case of getting the drawing done for the day. I didn't really challenge myself on it. It was drawn in a way that I enjoy, that I'm comfortable with, and it's probably why I quite like it. But that wasn't the point in this. The point was to challenge myself. And then we have this one. I saw some really nice, simplistic scribbles. One of them was by Blanca Miro. Do you know what? I got all these names wrong. I'm sure I've got all of the names wrong. I'll just put them up on screen. I'm terrible at remembering names. I apologize. Day 26. It's a bit odd in terms of the influence. It came out very different to what I intended, but I was looking at the graffiti artist James Recker, or Recker1. Yeah, especially a lot of his black and white stuff and the lines that he forms. And you can see where I probably started off looking at the similar lines, and I've kind of blocked it up and it's kind of moved a bit further away from him. But for the challenge that I gave myself for Inktober, I'm really happy with how this one came out, because there was a definite reference point of trying to look at an artist's style and then taking it into somewhere where I'm quite comfortable. And I learned a lot from this picture. So I think there's some good woodcut ideas that can come from this. And then on the woodcut theme, I'm just in love with the woodcuts of the German Expressionists, and this ink stuff just kept reminding me of woodcuts. So I thought if I do it a bit more scrappy, I can kind of get what this would look like. And so that's day 27, we're almost there. And then here, this has got 2018 lifeboat, it says. I don't know, all the things that are going on in 2018. But people like to read a lot of things into these, and I find that quite funny. A lot of this is a case of, you know, firing the arrow and then painting the marker around it afterwards. I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah, it was quite funny. And I really like a French artist called Eau de Laval. I've probably got, again, names all wrong. And she does these really scrappy, suggestive sketches that overlap each other a lot. And she kind of compacts these overlaying images in a really nice way. I just thought if I take some of the reference lines she does, I had the idea of them all kind of flowing out of a boat. Quite geometric. Then that'd be, you get something quite nice that's a bit different to hers. So that's what I've done in this one. Here we go. This little doggy here, I actually saw last year when I was living in Barcelona. There's a tunnel you can go climbing in. And I saw this little dog, and I just put it up on my Instagram story. And the way the dog looks, I've always thought it was a really nice angle. So I thought I'd draw the dog. But then I thought I'd do him in an archway. And this is that kind of very, I don't know what the word is, kind of posterized. Copied the dog out, added some trees, messed up the trees, decided to do a pillar, turned it into an archway. Dog in an archway, done. Radcliffe camera in Oxford, Bodleian Library. Day 30, so it's a continuous line. Starts here and it keeps going. It doesn't cross itself over until the end, which, it goes into Inktober. So that's one line. So obviously for this one I did a pencil outline of the Radcliffe camera, so I had a reference of where to go. But I've done a few of these, keep trapping myself in corners. So there's one point I'm pretty sure I trapped myself here and I had to go back round, like squeeze the line in. But it worked out, it doesn't cross. So happy with that. And then finally, day 31. Just looking at base pattern, I wanted to do like a seam, but just really simplistic patterns, so like squares, lines, triangles. It was one of those things that I'd learnt from the 31 days. It's very easy to overwork the pictures. And so I said, you know what, leave it, it's nice. 31 drawings, done. Oh, so there we are. I have no idea if this will be interesting or not. So let me know if it was. Let me know if, I don't know, if any of it was super dull, if any of it was mildly interesting. It'd be cool to know if people are interested in that kind of process stuff. It's nice to kind of share the ambition and the goal of just being a student and just soaking everything in. So my whole goal is for this time next year to do Inktober again, but purely my own aesthetic. And I think the only way you can develop your own aesthetic is to steal until you've got your own style. So that was what I was trying to do. All these pictures are up for sale on samhamper.com, so go check them out. If you like any of them, you can give one of them a home. So thank you very much. I'm gonna go to bed.